Hello and welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour. This is March 18th, 2021, and we are happy to be here. It's happy hour. It's live coding. Oh man, you can't get better than this. We've got the ABCs lined up for you again, so let's go through the introductions. I guess alphabetical order works today.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. I'm Andrew Barnes, developer advocate here at ServiceNow. I have been building on the platform for about 7 years. We're coming up on knowledge number 8 for me. I'm pretty excited about that.
Wow.
I love building custom apps, integrations, and managing large-scale development. And over to my friend, Brad.
Hey, everybody. My name's Brad Tilton. I am also a developer advocate here at ServiceNow. I've been developing on the platform since about 2008, and I think this is going to be my 12th or 13th knowledge. I missed one in there, so the number's always hard to calculate.
And depending on who you talk to, they might count that European knowledge way back when.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So I'm excited to be here today, and on to you, Chuck.
Hey, my name is Chuck Tomasi, Senior Developer Advocate. Wow, I had 2 sips of beer and I'm already in the bag. I've been working at ServiceNow since 2010, customer since 2008, and Stone Age history way before that. We were just talking about ages and getting old, and we won't go there today. But had a wonderful discussion with Dhruv Gupta and Ashutosh Manat for their podcast, brand new podcast they just released, called Laten we praten, about it's Dutch for let's talk. And I talked a lot, but that's nothing new. And you can find out a whole bunch of my backstory from them.
Nice. Well, I'll go ahead and introduce my beer then. It is hilariously, because it's the last beer in this house. It's the same as last week, which is the Sour Boysenberry Plum from Edmunds Oast.
Nice.
I have a just almond barrel-aged stout from QV, so I'm excited about this one.
I've gone back to the local well. It was either what I drank last week from Wisconsin or the week before from Arizona. So I've got the Papago Orange Blossom Mandarin Wheat. So nice, and it's feeling a little more like spring and summer around here, so I thought it was time to break that out. And with our beers under the way, what do you say, Andrew? What are we doing today?
All right. So last week, we don't have Quebec shirts yet. Brad is sporting his New York one, and I'm sporting, what's this? CreatorCon 18, 19?
I've got CreatorCon San Diego under here.
But last week, Quebec went into market launch, and with that, we, in the great technology, Steve Jobs, we added another thing right on that day that wasn't in the early access, which is App Engine Studio. And we're going to take a little bit of a look at App Engine Studio today. And you've got a Tech Now coming out next week that they should go sign up for. That's going to show App Engine Studio and creating your first app and starting from a template. And today, we're going to look a little bit under the nuts and bolts behind how to administer App Engine Studio. Part of, and we'll get into more detail, but part of the behind the scenes is setting up a pipeline from dev test prod or whatever that might look like for you, and getting that automation for the citizen devs to promote the apps that they build using AES up through the stack. So that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to have to simulate a little bit of it because our internal ServiceNow instances don't have access to the same infrastructure that customers do for this purpose. But we'll be able to show you all of the bits.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
This is live coding happy hour, so we have license to make mistakes.
We do have license to make mistakes. Is there anything else that we should share about, knowledge or CreatorCon coming up or any of our content before we dive into the screen share?
I put the link to the registration page. If you're watching this before March 23rd, go register. It's in the chat, bit.ly/TN85reg. And we've got yesterday's podcast, Breakpoint, with Chris Haas about App Engine Studio. So this is like App Engine Studio season right now. If you don't have a hunting license, we know how to get, I'm sorry.
Nice. And we did have this morning the Europe and America centric Quebec launch. And then later, tomorrow morning, relativistically to me, but like in APJ time, there will be one, or is that Monday, Chuck?
I think it's Monday night our time, about 2 p.m. Sydney time, Tuesday.
Okay. So that is, if you missed that today, you can get it on demand now. Yep. And there's 16, so there's a keynote and then 16 sessions. And one of those is App Engine Studio, but there is some really good content in there. So go check that out. If you don't know what's in Quebec, that's a good place to start.
Excellent.
And with that, I will start my screen share and we shall get rolling and sharing my screen. How's that look there, Brad?
That looks good.
All right. So I've got 3 instances to simulate that dev test prod scenario. If you have a developer site instance, one of those personal developer instances, you'll actually, not be able to do all of this stuff. But you'll be able to use App Engine Studio. You just won't be able to promote them up a pipeline because kind of like this instance I'm in right now, it doesn't have an application repo under the hood that can do that promotion. And so you won't see this message because we've loaded some fake data in those personal developer instances for you so that you'll get past this screen. But this is what's happening when you get to this screen is you have not yet configured App Engine Studio yet. And so an admin will have to do this before any citizen devs get to come and use App Engine Studio in your dev instance. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is over here in App Engine Studio, we need to set up some environments. So, and the way I know that is because, you need to set up a pipeline, and I could have started here on pipeline, but then I see I need these 3 environments, and I'd rather go directly to that table instead of doing pop-ups from here. So I'm going to go straight to environment and create 3 there.
When do you think they would have gone dev test prod on that form? I'm sorry, my OCD is kicking in.
Did it? Does it
It's
not?
dev prod test.
I think maybe some customers don't have a test environment. There are still.
And you skip it. It's not a mandatory field.
That is, yeah.
That's a whoops, in my opinion.
Someone
made a decision
agree
to
with
do
you,
that.
sir.
Might be the beer talking.
So we're going to call this one, dev imp a. And
Bill says some customers test in prod, so maybe that's what.
I should have worn my shirt that says, "I don't always test, but when I do, it's in production."
I do my dev in prod.
So I have got a AES credential. I thought I created. Oh, I need a connection and credential alias. Let's see if it starts with one.
I think
Or
there
contains
is.
AES.
Does it
Isn't there
already
a
start with one?
spoke? That's what the PDIs use. Use one that already exists.
I don't see
Oh
one.
no.
Let's go look. Credentials. There's e-bonding. Is there AES?
This is the
There
part
is
of live coding
CI/CD.
happy hour.
SN CI/CD spoke CI/CD.
There's
Oh,
one.
they're using this one? Okay.
Which makes sense, right? Because that's basically what we're doing.
It is. It is what we're doing. So that I'm fine with that. And I want to, I already created these. I'll create a new one. It's fine. It's fine. This is going to be admin, A, and this is AES.admin. And we got really tricky password.
So Phil asked a question about exporting the results of AES to another instance instead of using the pipeline. I think we should get through this pipeline and kind of show how it works underneath. And then I think the answer to that question will be a little bit more obvious.
Good thought.
Okay. So as Brad pointed out, this is a good place to start, and it's probably what the documentation says is go create a credential under the CI/CD spoke, which if you haven't used or looked at any of the CI/CD spoke, that is a very useful tool. So it allows you to move things between instances with automation from source control, from the app repo,
ATF.
Run ATF tests. It is install plugins. It is super useful. So now that I have my credential, I can go back to Engine and create my environments. So new, we're gonna call this dev, pay, and we now have CI/CD spoke. And we've got our instance URL here. Submit. And now we'll do test. And that's going to be, what did I say test was going to be? Yeah, this one. Go ahead and get the URL while I'm there. Program. Yes. The credential is going to be the same because I'm lazy. And let's go ahead and submit. And then prod. What do you got, Brad? You sounded like you were going to say something.
I know I was going to wait till we got back to the pipeline, but I'll say our product management teams for AES, just to head off this question, are aware that not every customer has dev test prod. And
yes,
we are looking at future states of maybe this is not how your pipeline works, but for now this is how the pipeline works.
Correct. Thank you for that, Brad. So I've got the environments, I've got the credentials. I think that is what I need here. Let me go ahead and, so I exported the credential and then let's go ahead and export these. I just now thought about, well, that would be really nice if it, did this for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I shouldn't need to set this up in multiple places, should I? I just gave it credentials and the ability to do things in other instances.
Sounds like a share ad.
Why didn't it go and do this in the other instances for me? Oh, I need to, yeah, I also need to get the credential though. Let's grab the credential. And then retrieved, import, choose. So I'm going fast here because I'm just importing 2 XML files. And we don't need to spend a lot of time on that.
You can do that from any list. You don't have to go to retrieved update sets.
I am set in my ways.
More clicks than necessary.
I
clicks
also
than necessary.
go to wherever I am importing to.
I often do that just to verify that it's there. But if I'm doing like 8 of them at a time, it's like I stay on the same list and go next, 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 import XML. And then I go and inspect to make sure the data came out.
Import XML here? Like
Nope. Go back to the list. Any header label.
Yeah, the very bottom.
Any column header menu.
Yeah.
Import XML,
bottom.
second from the bottom.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
I never
the
used
same
that.
UI page, and it does the same thing. You can import an update set here too if you want. It's just XML. It's just going to end up in a different target table.
I don't think I realized that you could do that from any table. I thought you had to do it from the table you were at.
Nope.
No, you can do it from anywhere. Like I'm doing it from here,
Right.
but I wasn't importing update sets.
But the whole point is the table definition is in the XML. It says where you want me to dump it.
It knows where to
12
go.
and a half years, you learned something.
Those are the ones I treasure. It's like, how did I not know this before? And there's still plenty out there.
So now I've got my environments and I need to set up the pipeline. In this case, we're just going to do the ABC pipeline. We're going to make it active. We're going to say this one's going to be dev. And this is going to be prod because that's the great ordering. And this one's going to be test. So now we have a pipeline and we have only one active pipeline. All others are inactive. Thanks for that message. There aren't any others, but sure. Thanks for telling me. So now you'll notice when I reload App Engine Studio, I no longer get that message saying you need to go configure things because it is now configured. So that'll be like the very first step that you'll have to do is get that pipeline set up. And again, for the personal developer instances, the engineering team that I worked with for the Quebec launch took care of that for you. And since you're not going to be doing any pipeline stuff in your personal developer instance, you get this nice little wizard. And Chuck show, Tech Now is going to go into more depth on like creating an app. So we're just going to build one from a template really quick. So there are templates in which allow you to jumpstart an app. So you should find if there's a template near to the application type that you're looking for, go ahead and evaluate them and see if it helps jumpstart building your app. Which one do we want to go from today?
Time off. I need some time off.
I love it. Thanks, Chuck. We will. I'm all for the time off one.
Is there something we can repurpose into plant management? Just
we gotta meet the plant
I saw a
groupies
request earlier in the chat.
the plant groupies. So I can preview what this app looks like with these images. And, I've got some descriptions and what it contains. And, I can even drill into, I've never clicked that button and it gave me form like, all right, cool. And all right, nice. So we've decided time off is a good starter for our application. So we're going to build a template. We're going to utilize this template to build an app based off that template. So this is going to give me a new scoped app based off of that template. And we're going to say the ABC time off machine gives ABC all the time off they need.
Or we could just have a time machine.
So this will take a moment. It doesn't take a great deal of time. So was there anything that I should have added along the way, Brad or Chuck, to, make sure that, was there something that I left out that, because I'm familiar with this?
Nothing that I can think of around the whole process of hooking up your dev, test, and prod. Brad?
Yeah, I mean, me neither. I think around templates, we saw those 5 templates. I would expect to see more templates in the future.
Yes.
And then at the moment, you can only use the templates that we're shipping. But eventually, the hope is that customers will be able to author their own templates. But that is not a current capability.
Awesome. Well, our new scoped app has been created. And I can go to that app's dashboard. So there is, if we go visit our scoped app list and sort by updated, there should be a brand new spanking ABC time off machine. So this is, what gets generated from that template for me. And I haven't had to do anything other than name it yet. So I've got 1,455 application file entries already here to jumpstart my app. So this is what we get. And I could go do 5 of these. So if I've got, 5 different orgs, in my company that need separate time off apps for separate use cases, and they're all going to manage them separately. Well, maybe at 5, I might consider doing a more centralized one, but they want to do their own thing. They want to be the masters of their own domain. I can generate 5 of them for them, or allow them to generate their own is a more accurate statement, actually. So now I'm back in AES and I can review what we've got. But we're not going to spend much time on that because we're talking about the pipeline and what are the extra things I have to do, and not focusing on the development user right this moment. But you can see we've got a table, we've got a mobile experience, that traditional form view, and then a now experience portal. So we've got a workspace form, a now experience portal. And so, this would launch UI Builder if I went to go drill in here and configure it. We've got some flows. We've got some roles and ACLs. So we've got a working app right here. And so we need to go make at least one change, before we're going to promote this up the stack. What do we want to adjust? Do we want to open UI Builder and have Brad tell us what to do for like 30 seconds?
Sure.
Let's do that.
I think you have to hit, oh no, you're good. Yeah. Or maybe edit.
Edit. I would have gone to edit. This will just show you.
We'll just do it.
I don't think you can get there from here, but
I have to.
My limited few days of playing.
Hit edit.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
hit edit.
That looks like the same thing.
Looks like the same thing, but okay.
Was it the same
Yeah.
arrow?
Preview wouldn't, I could have hit preview, but I didn't. So I think it was going to launch UI Builder either way.
It's a good landing.
Do you want to sync
variant.
different scope? No, I want to change my scope.
You might want to.
We're not going to break anything.
Yeah, that's right.
Wait. It finished loading and removed that message. I didn't click that.
Might have been the 404 page.
Yeah. So I didn't actually click that. So here we are in UI Builder. And I'll even pull in the screen a little bit, just so that you get all of UI Builder visible.
We see some icons right now. A few.
There we go. That's good.
So here is UI Builder. What shall we change in here? Let's rename.
That's
Let's
what I was
rename
going to
this.
say. I like to find the content tree on the left and use that to find my things, because
That seems reasonable. Heading 1.
Especially when you have a
There we
container
go.
in a container,
Yeah.
it can get really annoying. Or you start creating nesting containers, and if there's nothing in them, they're really hard to see.
Yes.
Cookie time.
Nice. And then we should probably change the button to request cookie time.
Ooh, request cookie time.
Oh, hey, whoa, that wasn't in the requirements.
Request cookie time. All right, request cookie time. Oh, that's too long. I don't like how that's rendering.
It may not render like that for a real page.
All right.
You'll have more.
We'll preview it. So all right, let's make one more change. Any one more change. Chuck, what change should I make?
This is crazy talk now.
Crazy talk.
We'll just change another label. Recent request to recent cookies.
Recent cookies. All right, so we're talking about container 5 data row, maybe.
Yeah.
Recent cookies.
We're not going to change any at data or at context things at this point.
No user is going to see that. So we're.
Oh,
we're
wait, we
gonna-
have an empty state message down below that says time off.
Any cookies. Empty state message.
Create a new
Cookie.
Paid cookie. I like that. Create a new paid cookie request.
Paid cookie request.
I like it.
All right. I'm going to hit save before we get too crazy.
That's
in
what
here.
happens when you drink and code, kids.
Drinking code. Let us open this. Why do you say no opening?
You need to, I don't know why you would need a page parameter, but there is one there.
Okay.
What does it want? What does that even mean?
I don't know why I have to pass the landing page a parameter.
Let's delete. Maybe that was that weird sync thing. Let's just delete that parameter. Go to
how do I do
menu.
that? That's over here at the top, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Required parameters.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Felicia. Open.
If it first doesn't work, delete parameters. I don't think that's the right answer.
A landing page shouldn't have a required page parameter. What?
Oh, no.
Oh, you
now,
may need.
this is I need an audience.
Yep.
Probably. So if we go here to variants and so we're on the landing page and we're here, home default. And let's go edit audience and see what role or thing I need to be able to render this. No audiences.
Let's add one, I guess.
No, it should.
HCL maybe.
But let's just go grant me the role.
Yeah.
So users, which user am I? Yeah, I'm the admin. Okay. And let's go grab that role that was just generated. Roles, edit. And if we go here, I can go to, yeah, give me admin role. Yeah, this thing. So this is a good time to point out that you'll be granting delegated level permissions to many of the folks that are going to be using App Engine Studio, and they will not have access to grant roles to other users. So that's part of the interaction between your App Engine Studio users and you as the administrator. is you will have to handle granting roles. In this case, I am an administrator and I'm using App Engine Studio, but the App Engine Studio roles itself to be able to come over here and create a new app does not include, adding people to groups or to roles. So that's a thing to note, is they can create roles, but not grant them to users.
Smart.
Yep.
So that helps, differentiate the app creating from the administering of the instance. So now I need to log out and log back in, or rather impersonate a user and then unimpersonate.
In my Sarbanes-Oxley days, we used to call that segregation of duties.
It is. I had to show that in my last role at a customer healthcare organization, and when you had to show that you weren't the one, that there's segregation of duties between the person deploying the change and the person authorizing the change and the person who did, created the what is going to be in the change. So we can reload App Engine Studio now, and we can reload this landing page, and hopefully we don't get a 404. Come on.
I'm nervous because you can't see all that dog's 4 legs.
So why won't we be able to see that? What is causing that at this point? Let's roll over to our landing page and see if there was anything else that might have been. It might have been a condition.
Might have been.
Page.
We were supposed to pass
equals home.
Is that page?
We were
perimeter.
supposed to pass home.
Do not pass home. Do not collect $200.
That's a strange. All right, let's just add that parameter.
We'll just add that back. Okay, so
We
were a little hasty in removing our parameter.
Knew that was going to come back and bite us.
But it was fun.
It was fun.
I enjoyed it. And so now we need to set this to home.
No, it has to be the sys-ID of home. I'm just kidding.
And now it'll say, you can open
save
me.
Save it. Yeah.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
Loading.
We'll hit save.
Loading.
It loaded.
Hey, it's cookie time.
It's cookie time.
It's cookie time. Nice. I should have done plant space for the plant groupies.
That's true.
Of which I am one. I love plants. So there we go. We have modified our app just enough to say, hey, I'm ready to get this in production and have my users using this, and then we'll start taking their feedback and going, because this is actually a working app that's generated from the template. So I don't have to. I can, but I don't have to add a lot to this to get going. Now you'll notice that I can't submit this right now. And why can't I submit this? It's because you can't actually submit these in our instances because we don't have an application repo behind the scenes.
So submit is submitting it to be reviewed by the administrator.
That is precisely it, Brad. So that AES rolled user who creates this app and is the controller of this app has limited permissions. They are a form of delegated developer, and they have to submit a deployment request to an admin level user who can approve that deployment request or reject it. And then that's what will move it between this development instance and the test instance, and then from the test instance to the prod instance. So let's go simulate that, even though we can't actually, click that submit button. We can take a look at what will happen when that's done. And so if you're an admin, you'll see this app deployment request. So there should be a filter on this guy to not even show this to like the AES user, but only to the admin. See, to see this deployment request table, which if you took my CI/CD workshop last knowledge, will be incredibly familiar to you because it's the same. This is actually from that workshop essentially. So they took inspiration from the workshop to create this deployment request process. So we will say move cookies v1 up. And we want to deploy to test environment. And these things are uneditable because they're supposed to get generated from the submit request.
Oops.
So what will happen is you hit submit and it will automatically create one of these deployment requests in the background. So that AES user doesn't even know what's going on. I mean, it will tell them that a deployment request was submitted to the admin for approval, but they won't see this record directly. So, we'll have to, if we want to go further with this, we'll have to make it so that we can edit these. But at this point, if the pipeline was populated and the app name and sysid were in here, clearly Flow populated the pipeline in the background because there's only one active pipeline that's able to be put in here. So it generated that for us. So an approval will be sent to the administrator at this point. And
that's a standard approval under sysapproval approver?
Yep, it's a standard approval that will go to them. And this is the record that they're approving. So they would come here to check out the details and, maybe have a conversation with the, person. If it's the first time, you want to, help them the appropriate amount for where they're at. So, their 20th update to their app, probably not going to have a conversation about it. You'll look to see what's in that update and hit approve without a lot of interactions. But the first time, you probably want to have that conversation with them. So they'll approve this record. And then what will happen is there's a flow in the background that when this is, when one of these is set to approved, it will use the pipeline and that the what to do field, which was move it from, deploy to test.
Mm-hmm.
It will grab, so it'll publish it to the app repo. And then from the app repo, it will, tell the test instance, hey, go get this version of this app from the app repo. And that's how it works. So we could probably, I don't know if those flows are visible. Let's go look.
I would hope so.
Oh, I really dislike whoever added this in Quebec because Flow Designer is no longer the top thing. It's a regular list of a filtered list of flows. So thanks whoever did that. I'm appreciating you.
Could find out. Go to the module and see who did the last sys updated.
Well, I'd actually have to look internally to see who did that code deployment because it'll just say admin.
Probably.
Here. Like This will just say admin.
Oh, yeah.
Which isn't right. Maint.
Yeah. Updated by maint and created by admin. So
Curse you.
curse you, silent developer in the background. So let's see. So actually you can see here's our flows from our app, which is great. And admin deployment approval flow. That looks like a promising flow. I legit have not opened this, so I was not sure if we were going to be able to see the flow. Hey, look, deployment request is created or updated. So we can actually see, what and state is pending approval and deploy to test environment. Hey,
So
that
yours
sounds like,
should have run. Did you have an execution?
let's see. Oh, we did.
Yeah.
It probably
Did it
errored because
work?
it didn't have an app ID.
Yep.
So
yeah.
It's going to error out because of the app ID.
Yep.
Awesome. So
After
let's go take a look.
951 tries. So
Just like people trying to print things that don't come out on the printer.
So this is actually, this flow is what populated that pipeline. We saw it updated the pipeline after I created it, and the flow did that because it said, go grab the active pipeline and populate that in there. And then it, uses this, publish application with application ID. So this is, I believe, nope, this is not the stock CI/CD one. It's slightly different because they added this dev notes, but it's roughly the same. So this is using the ServiceNow REST API from the SN CI/CD group to publish. So I said the first thing it does is it publishes that version to the app repo, and that's what this action does. Yes. Yeah, I didn't make any changes. So publish that app with the ID, and then it's going to check to see if it published. And once it published, it's going to then say install that app from the repo to that target instance, which in this case is going to be the test instance. So you can see it grabbed the test instance credential, so that test environment instance credential and that test environment instance URL, and it grabbed the app version from that deployment request. And this is the stock install application with ID action that is shipped with that CI/CD spoke. And then it, gets that execution tracker. And then if that's successful, what is this? Publish app search configurations on the test instance. Oh, wow. It updates the AI search dictionaries, profiles, and index tables after the app is published. That's nice.
I think those are all globally scoped, probably is why they do that.
Yeah, but the fact that they thought to do that for us, I didn't know they were doing that for us. So thank you. Thank you, App Engine team.
May have missed it while I was answering a question. Was ATF or Instant Scan in here anywhere?
It is not, but it very easily can be added.
Yeah.
Right? So you can easily extend this deployment to include Instant Scan and ATF. And what you can actually even do is have those run before it even sends you the approval record. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can set up a flow on the deployment request table to execute before it even asks for that admin approval to run that instant scan and run those ATFs. And if successful, then ask for your approval. And if unsuccessful, go ahead and tell that submitting user, that they have failed ATF test cases,
Yep.
and they need to go address that.
Extensible.
And then send emails to let that user know that the app is moved to the test instance. So while we can't directly do this, we can see exactly what would have been done had we actually have an app repo we could connect to today. And I apologize for not having one, but it's not the simplest thing in the world for our internal ServiceNow instances to have those.
That's an interesting order number on that module, 934.
Well, the app portfolio management
is it loaded with stuff?
Loaded.
And nobody's renumbered anything. So we just keep injecting things in between things.
So there's 68 of them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that is what you need to do to get started to use App Engine Studio to get it configured for your users, with those environments and pipelines. And the guided setup will help you do that. That will help you get there. Questions?
Not seeing anything in here. Lisa Holenstein's been online and she's been answering a lot of the questions that have been coming up.
We did have an ES6 question, which the answer to that is we're looking into options for enabling ES6 server side.
That is a
forward
looking.
Corey just answered it anyway. So
not a week goes by.
That is one of the awesome folks that are behind App Engine Studio. Making that templating process work and turning that template into the scoped app that we have available here. Corey's team is the team that took care of that. So kudos to him. So that is what I wanted to show. Is there anything else that you want me to drill into while we're still here?
I'll give a quick tip that I discovered by accident yesterday.
Love it.
I was making a new app in AES, created my table, created the workspace, went and looked at the workspace and noticed that the list widget on the landing page had columns in the wrong order, as often does when you get a new table. Clicked the list on the left, the full list came up. Columns were also in the wrong order. Said, okay, I can go into UIB and add columns quickly if I choose to do that. Or I could go to list layout and change them quickly. But what I discovered is that AES does not create an entry in sysui list. The fast fix for this, after you create your workspace, it's really funny. You go to the table and click preview. That's it. Both are fixed. If you must change them, you have list layout from there. So it's like 2 clicks and you're in list layout. 1 click and you got a better list layout than nothing. So this is the hard way, and if you want to change whatever's on the list, you're going to have to replicate pages, create variants, and do all this other crazy stuff to link your form to the list. And just go preview your table and you're way ahead.
So if I understood you, Chuck, you said, I've got a workspace.
Yep.
I've got lists, and these are already configured. But if I created a brand new app and I have lists here,
they're not configured.
I want to configure these.
You may end up with number on the far right, and that's not what I want.
What you said to do is go to App Engine Studio.
Yep. Go to that first
my
tab.
app and go to Table. And
click the preview button. Yep. It will show you a standard UI16 list layout.
Oh, and that generates the metadata for the list layout right then.
And I went, wow, that's already fixed. I don't have to do anything. How did that happen? Then I went back to Workspace and refreshed and went, hey, they're both fixed. I win.
Well, with that handy tip, I think it's time to stop the screen share. Would you concur, Brad?
All right.
Well, that was a lot of fun. I have really enjoyed App Engine Studio. It is, the future of building apps on the platform. And it has been so much fun learning about it. The three of us were actually involved in helping get the templates done. So we are pretty familiar with App Engine Studio. We're not as familiar with as Corey's team is, who actually built all of the underlying infrastructure here, but we've been engaged, and I don't know what other things can we say about App Engine Studio. It's, we're gonna be highlighting it more. The Tech Now is coming up next week. What do y'all want to add about App Engine?
It's sexy.
It is.
And it's faster. I think the build with Chuck session at CreatorCon is going to be 10 minutes shorter because of that.
Now that is quite a statement.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah, I would say as far as spinning up an experience, App Engine Studio is definitely the fastest way to create a custom portal or workspace experience. If you go into, and I'm gonna have a blog and a video out on this sometime soon. But if you go into an App Engine Studio, you can say, give me a portal experience. And I think it creates you like 8 pages that all have lots of components and data resources, and they're all hooked up together already. And something similar with Workspace. So even if you're not planning on deploying one, it's kind of a good way to learn UI Builder, to go in there and take a look at what gets generated for you. And then those templates, like I would go in and create an app from a template, probably for all of the templates, just to see, kind of go in and look at what gets created with the templates and what kind of experiences you get, and kind of take a look through those. So there's a lot of examples in App Engine Studio, / UI Builder that you can kind of look at now that we have access to, that we didn't have access to, prior to a week ago.
Yeah, and those are the configurable workspaces that App Engine Studio will generate.
Mm-hmm.
That is new in Quebec. So it's not exactly the same as the workspaces you might be familiar with in Paris or earlier.
Yeah.
That was great though, Brad. Thanks for sharing that. So with that, Chuck, I am showed what I want to show today.
Thank you.
It was not, we weren't actually able to deploy it. We went into why, but
we know the motions.
We know how to do it.
Yep.
So with that, I shall rate my beer unless we have something else. All right. My sour boysenberry plum was really good. This is a 4.25. That's good.
Nice. Brad?
Yeah, my almond barrel-aged stout was pretty good. I'm going to give it a 4.25 as well.
Ooh.
I am once again very happy with my Papago Orange Blossom Mandarin Wheat from just down the road. It even says on the top, uniquely Arizona. I saw that before.
All right.
We're gonna stamp that on Chuck. Uniquely Arizona.
4.5.
Wow, nice.
So with that, everybody, thank you very much for joining us. If you got more questions about AES, of course, we have a podcast that came out on the 16th of March. We've got Tech Now, as we mentioned, link in the chat, bit.ly/TN85Reg coming up on the 23rd. If you missed it and you're watching this much later, we'll make sure you have a link to that as well. But go check it out. I think I set this up earlier today. devlink.sn/technow is the master list. We have our own URL shortener, and we're going to abuse it accordingly in the next few weeks.
Right.
Nice.
With that, thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Brad. And thank you, viewer, for watching. We will talk to you again real soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.